Welcome in, Libra community. Swole Tigress here with a wonderful story for this enthusiastic community. Not sure what's gonna happen in this story, as I'm just showing up to the table, much like yourselves. But what I will say is definitely there's an energy of feeling like I need to have all my ducks in a row. I'm putting in work and crossing them T's and dotting those I's. Well, Libra community, sisters, brothers, they and them, I have called in your ancestors, spirit guides, angels, as well as universal and divine energy to be a part of this story as guides and protectors. Also protectors of this space, my space and your space, okay? So let's get started. I have the Unicorn Oracle cards to start off with. So let's get a feel for how this wonderful romantic community is feeling. Gentleness. Be kind to yourself and others. Honor your gentleness. Speak words of love. Being gentle is not being soft. It doesn't make you any less of the person that you are. For this Libra, I don't know if this Libra in this story needs to hear that, but being gentle is not a weakness. And then we have balance. Oh, Libras! Take time to release. Indulge a little more or less. Set boundaries with your work. I'm feeling like if there is something that's overworking this Libra person, place, thing, it's time to bring balance. And it's done through love. Loving yourself. Being gentle with yourself. Knowing that it is not selfish to say no to that 16-hour shift. Oh, Libras, this is a good one. Polarity. Integrate your shadow side. There can be no light without dark. Understand the law of polarity. Come on, Libra. 2 cards talking about what y'all are good at with them scales. Them scales. This is all you, Libra. This is all you, Libra. There's not more that can be said between what's needing to happen. Is this Libra scales tip so much only in one direction that it's time to say, hey, look at this Libra right here. Look at this Libra right here. Yeah, you messed up. You did that, but guess what? You fell, you tripped, you scraped your knee. But now you're going to tie your shoes. Because you know when you run with them laces out that it's a tripping hazard. Yes, it hurt falling, but guess what? You learned something. Maybe it's that. Let's see what this card is. Oh, leadership. Boom. Leadership. Step into your leadership. Share your message. Inspire and empower others. Is it time to step up as like a mentor? Is it time to step up as an example? As an example. And this example doesn't have to be for anyone in particular. Say this doesn't have to do with the Libra who has children. This example could even be for self. Setting the example, hey, I can be that leader. It goes back to athletes. Basketball players, I've heard some interviews, and they will a lot of times see the shot happen. They'll visualize it happen and make it before they actually take the shot. Could this be that this Libra in this situation needs to start in visualizing where they want to be? And I have growth. Seek out a mentor or guide. Take baby steps as you grow. Be willing to learn from others. I'm feeling the pull is definitely be willing to learn from younger mistakes. And knowing that those younger mistakes help you spread your wings to the full length that they are for this Libra. All right, Libras, one more card. Two more cards, excuse me. And what went flying towards the camera? Compassion. Be gentle with yourself. Forgiveness will set you free. See the light in yourself and others. I'm going to show that to you again. And I'm going to read it to you again because it fell so close to the camera. Be gentle with yourself. Forgiveness will set you free. See the light in yourself and in others. This one's a good one. Trust. Leap into the unknown. Have faith and move forward. Believe you will fly. Look at that. That's a leader that's going to jump right there. That's a leader that's assessing which way to go, filling them wind currents, seeing what direction they want to go in. And it's led by trust. Trusting in yourself. Trusting in the wings that carry you. And the legs that hold you up. Sounds like the Libra in this story has been a little bit rough on themselves. Rough on themselves because they haven't showed up as a perfect person. Nothing's perfect. We don't level up in a game until we die a few times. We don't level up in life. We don't learn until we fall a few times. Talk to some elders. I'm going to go off on a detour and I'll tell you what. These older people that walk around as the grandparents now, they was wilding out back in their day too. They was wilding out just as hard as you, if not 10 times harder. I say that because there was no cameras back then. So there's no proof of them wilding out. It's just kind of how they did it on their own. And when you get to talking to people, you're going to realize that every person has lived a life. And the way that they've done their life, if this is a person that you admire, oh, that was scary, the dog's sleeping over there. If this is a person that you admire, that you feel like's gone far, well, they've most likely had to go through some stuff to get there. And they've had to come to some understanding of stuff. So this is starting off really, really strong right away already for this story. All right, let's dive into some tarot cards. I'm hearing 3 shuffles right away. How can a person be gentle with themselves? It starts in your thoughts. It starts in how you think about yourself. Instead of saying, I'm sorry, you could start saying, thank you for your patience. It's a lot of little changes that can help, even in speech, because that is a vibration that we put out. And when you talk, it also vibrates within you. So not only are you putting it out, but yes, you are receiving it. And if you're really putting out some not such loving speech toward yourself, then you're gonna feel it. Your vessel's gonna feel it. Your spirit's gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. And it's gonna become really heavy. So it starts with little steps. Little steps. All right. We have the 2 of Swords upright. Uh-oh, let's see what this one is that doesn't want to be seen. The Sun. I feel like this Libra knows what they want, but they have their own blinders on. Their own blinders on. And the own blinders could be in how they've built their stability. How they built their stability. The contracts that weren't working out. The contracts that weren't working out. I'm getting a sense, because this 2 of Swords is really reflecting on the Sun. This 8 of Coins is looking back towards these contracts. I feel like this could almost be going in the sense of this Libra in this story didn't show up or didn't get what they thought was ideal for them, was their expectation for them. And then I have a Ace of Wands come out. The Ace of Wands. I feel like this it burns you up. This expectation, the way that these contracts didn't work out, it kind of just, it burns at you. It burns at you. I'm really focused on how I have 2 individuals. I got one individual who has their vision blocked, but I have another individual who is intentionally looking away. So that gives me a sense is there is a subconscious feeling of lack of focus or lack of drive to a situation. It's like, well, if I would have did this, then this would have happened. It's kind of like in that sense. That's the only way I can explain it. And this is how this Libra is reflecting on it. And as I talk about that, we have the Eight of Wands in reverse. So this is something that's kind of like, I feel like hell on wheels. And it comes into those 10 of coins, where there's no chance of stability. There is no chance of stability. I'm hearing there's almost like no reasoning with this Libra self. There's no reasoning. It's just, I wasn't my best. I wasn't my best. I wasn't my best. I wasn't all knowing. I didn't see. Because the emperors have a big kingdom. Their particular spot where they stay usually looks over the land, has a great view. It looks like this one's trying to have a great view, but because it's not an upright, they didn't see. They didn't see this coming, this outcome coming to this situation. Almost like I didn't know it was going to work out like that. Like there was blindsided. And then I have the Eight of Cups that lands on the Eight of Wands. I feel like it could have been how it was in the foundation. In the foundation. It definitely was in the inevitable. The inevitable. And because it was the inevitable for this Libra, it was just always the direction they knew to go to. We can come up in toxic situations. And we can learn how to love people of toxic traits because of the toxic situations that we grew up in, not even knowing. Now what happens is when you get in a cycle of these, and there's a sense that there was a lot of wasted time, a lot of regret, then it's really going to question what it is that you enjoy waving at so much that's hell on wheels that comes at you. What is it that you enjoy so much that creates instability? What is it that has you looking off in a totally different direction from the immediate contract? What is the gentleness that needs to be brought in? What is the growth and the compassion towards yourself? And then I have the Five of Cups and the Knight of Swords. What sharp thoughts have entangled you? They keep pulling at you. that has those emotions spilled out, that has the scales, your scales, tipped. And this is this is something that I feel like it's deep. This is deep. This is deeply rooted for this Libra. This adaptable Libra. Anything else want to come out for the present? Trying to untangle those emotions. There's a sense of trying to sort them out, but at the same time, again, it's looking off in a lot of different directions from it. And what I'm looking at with this Hangman is the patch. Another thing that's, creates a block into seeing this situation for what it is. The growth that's going to come from it. Taking off those emotional sunglasses. Those emotional sunglasses that has been built up from what this Libra feels like: chaos and instability. Chaos and instability. All right. What wants to come out for the block? What wants to come out for the block? Divine energy. What wants to come out for the block? My left ear is doing a little something, and I really feel like this goes back to self. Self, how you focus on yourself. And we have the Nine of Wands come out in the side position. In the side position, and it lands on the Eight of Cups. It lands a little bit on those Three of Coins. It lands on the Eight of Wands. And again, my ear is going off. The focus, the part of the block is how you focus in on yourself. How you focus in on yourself. The Eight of Swords falls onto the Five of Cups and the Hanged Man. And then I had Temperance. That was behind it. What I'm seeing is there's a sense of failure in the emotions. A lot of governing around the failure, and for this particular picture, it's to open this door, to get out of this trap. And what it could be for this Libra, it was a failure to get to where they needed to go. Maybe there was a time limit for something that they wanted to do. And with the Temperance being behind that and being turned freshly into going into reverse, I feel like that's an indication that there's a little bit of questioning questioning of the guides, questioning of the angels, questioning of divine energy, whatever this Libra believes in, there's a questioning of that. Because there's almost a sense of unfairness. Because Libras are very just people. When you get a balanced Libra, they are very just. They'll do things the best they can to the rightest way possible. And if you have a Libra who's done that, and there's something that's not coming about, that hasn't came about, and it's been years now, and they played by the rules, they played by this, but it's still, this goal hasn't happened, then it would make sense that this person would start reflecting it on themselves, start reflecting it on their spiritual beliefs. It would make sense. And what we have here is the Page of Coins. Stability, entanglement in self. How do you untangle yourself? How do you get to that goal? I've tried this, I've tried that, I've tried this, I've tried that. It's not working. I played by the rules. Why isn't this working? We have the Knight of Swords. Oops. That's the Knight of Coins. Sorry about that, Libras. Knight of Coins. Well, this Knight of Coins is still entangled. Not able to get off to that fresh beginning. Then we have the Knight of Swords. Okay. And then with that fell out the Two of Cups. Two of Cups towards the Hangman. Towards that Knight of Coins. And this is, again, this Libra is hung up in the past connections, past contracts as the block, past ways of going about things. I was too busy doing this over here, and I forgot to clean up stuff over here or take care of this. Or while I was too busy trying to manage this and go off in this right direction, I didn't know I was going to neglect this. Oh, Libras. That's a hard one. Living with past regrets. Especially if you felt like you did it by the book. And to tell a Libra there's a reason for everything, if it's a cheap answer. It is a cheap answer. Let's see what else comes out for the block. There we go. We got the Moon in side position. And then that was on its own. And then I have the Seven of Wands that fell into the Eight of Wands that fell into the Eight of Cups all in reverse, and the Nine of Wands in sideways. Beating. This is a Libra that's beating themselves up. And I feel like it's drowning in the emotions at the same time. over a past regret, over this past block or this current block. What is it? What is it? Can I get a clarity card for the present and how the moon plays into the present? How the moon plays into the present. Let's see. There's a big pull to grab these cards up, so let's see what it is. And my focus is on that moon. So how this plays into the present, Libras. It has to do, it's one of a few things. It's how this past regret leaves you viewing a feminine energy. Or it's how you come in like an unbalanced feminine energy. And then I have the devil that fell towards the sun. So I'm going to bring it back. The way that this plays now to it is how this energy is using the emotions, or has learned to use the emotions as coping. And it could lead to emotional outbursts. It could be leading to stuff that they think is their sun, but it isn't the sun. It's actually quite opposite of being something that's fruitful for them. This is how this emotion plays into the present. The block from this emotion on how you feel about this connection is what brings that imbalanced nature. So where there would be fertility, this would be infertility. Where this would be kind, this would be opposite. This would be hate. So it's bringing all the opposing energy that you want to be. And if you really look at it, this Empress here is one for who's going to protect herself as an upright. Could you imagine her being crossed as she is in a reverse? But this is the way this person, this Libra, feels about this situation. It could be that they feel crossed, and this is why they're at war with their past. This connection, this situation was supposed to have the Ace of Wands outcome, my ideal of passion, my ideal way of building, my ideal foundation. But everything went awry. It went so off in a totally different direction than what I was looking. And now it's all my fault. That's what I'm picking up. It's all my fault. Why didn't the heavens save me? Well, they must not have my back. That's the energy that I'm picking up from this reading for this Libra. Everything happens in its due time. I hope this Libra knows. You may feel like you're showing up late to the table with something. And maybe it's because your attention was elsewhere for so long. There's going to be polarity in that. There really is. You're going to have to see the finer lesson in that one. I can't dictate the exact situation. I can give some examples. Somebody who's seen themselves in a different position in life when it comes to career. They seen themselves doing something totally different, but they never paid attention. They never invested actual time into it. Then that's why this outcome would come like this. And if a person feels like, well, I invested time into it, I did it I did it right, at least what I thought it was, then it is going to totally seem unfair. It's going to totally seem like fate has it out for you. You're going to be carrying this big burden. It's going to feel like a burden. A burden, a weight that's not known how to be carried, because in life we're always taught everything you get leveled up. They don't teach us about how life can be very, 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 seems like unfair at times. But everything has its timing. And right now, the process you're going through is a slow and steady. Slow and steady. There's no getting through these thoughts this quick. There's no getting back to having a great relationship with self quick. It takes time to change the perception into how this past regret is actually a burden. It's a big old burden. Anything else want to come out for the block? Psychic development falls towards the devil, contracts, and the moon. So 3 of Pentacles and the moon. I'm hearing you know better. You know better. If you're going to head off in the right direction, it starts with self. And it starts when nobody else is watching. And here it comes, feminine energy, burden. It lands on the burden. And it lands on perception. And it also lands on, behind those, it's the 2 of Cups in the side position. So this definitely could fall back to originally healing from a feminine energy. A feminine energy who was not just to you. Maybe with this feminine energy, whether it's work or it's at home with a friend or family, or was a friend, you know, because if it's crazy friends go crazy or do something that's not right, we really got to check they're really a friend. But what it is that when we go through things that are painful, we will hold a grudge towards that energy. Think about exes. Could this be a situation for a Libra about an ex? Could it be by a situation about a certain teacher, a certain manager, a certain partner, boyfriend, girlfriend? It really could. It really could be an energy, a feminine energy that had a lasting negative effect. And I look at how this spirals inside, and it's at the root part of the chakra system. The root is foundation, root is home. Now, am I telling somebody to go out there and portray more feminine traits? No. This is some healing that this person's going to have to do a little bit of research on. This is maybe where a mentor comes into play. Mentor, counselor, somebody who this Libra looks at as a balanced, trusting, feminine energy. Perceptions can always shift, especially when you're stepping into your leadership. And you may see how much more of this was a burden that you were wearing that you didn't have to. You didn't have to. What I can say is also researching on different apps. I like YouTube. I find a lot of positive stuff on YouTube. I'll share this too, is I was recently, back in December, watching a YouTube video, and they had brought on to interview a gentleman who was open about cheating. And I wanted to come at this video from the mind of an upset feminine energy, but I sat there and I listened to it. And I listened to this person's side. Now, did they condone? Were they asking for mercy? Were they asking for forgiveness? No, this was a person who was being open and honest with their story. And they wanted to share this story to help others understand. What I'm getting at is, don't feel so alone, Libra. Don't feel so alone. There's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of people who have shouldered this same burden. This same burden, and they're willing to share their perception as well. Their perception, because they know it takes a certain gentleness, a certain balance to self, understanding all the stuff that self has went through to help self go in the direction that self wants to go in. With growth, learning how to fly higher, but also learning how to love oneself even more. Be at one with oneself and others. One of the biggest things is coming into trusting yourself. When you trust in yourself, you know you have your back. You know that you can protect yourself. I think that's the name of this game right here. Ooh, Libras. I don't want to say I saved the best for last, but this is a very compelling story today. One of deep searching, one where there is temptation around, but there's a goal. There is a goal. There's something this Libra really, really wants. Take time with yourself, Libra. Take time with yourself, and then just know goals are achievable in different ways. What may not happen the exact way that we want it to happen, it can unfold in a different way later on. So, thank you so much, Libras, for coming in and sharing this energy. Have a wonderful rest of y'all day.